Hi lovelies, good morning and welcome to the part 2 of this tutorial on how to make a zip fly and then a waist belt. Okay, so before we jump into this tutorial, please don't forget to like, to share, to subscribe, and also turn on your notification bell in order to get notified anytime there is a new video up on the channel. So we'll go ahead and take the new waist measurements after taking down the sides. Okay, we are taking this measurement right from the external fly that we cut. Okay, so we'll go ahead and take this round and then to the other side of the external fly. Okay, so here I have 35 inches. So guys, the next thing is I'll go ahead and then cut a long strip for the waist belt. Okay, now this that I've cut is 37 inches. Remember the waist measurement is 35. We'll be needing 1 inch for our sewing allowance, and then we'll cut off the rest of the 1 inch away. Okay, so the next thing is to go ahead and cut an interface as long as this. Yeah, so guys, this is our interface. We are going to be ironing this on one side, so I'll go ahead and then fold this into two and take it to my ironing board and iron. I want to do this because I want to see the middle of where I'll start infusing my interface. Okay, so guys, I am done ironing now. As you can see, the folded line, that is where I'll put my interface, because I'll be ironing it at just one side, okay, not both sides. So I need a line to guide me to iron my interface. So that is why I folded this into two. So I will take this to my machine, my ironing board, and then infuse this interface on the waist belt. Okay, so guys, I am done with infusing the interface. Now the next step is to cut off the excess that I have. Okay, oh my god, it's raining right now, so if you kind of hear any funny noise in the background, then you should know that it's because it's raining heavily here. Okay, very heavily, like cats and dog. Yeah, okay, so we'll go ahead and still cut off all the excesses, and now I am done. So the next thing is to take in both sides. So we'll go ahead and fold this into two, and then I will take in both sides. Like, we'll take the measurements on both sides. Remember, our entire waist measurement was 35, so 35 divided by 2 is 17.5. okay, so I went ahead to fold my tape measure into two, because the belt is folded into two. Okay, so that's my 17.5 inches. I'll go ahead and grab my chalk and then mark it. Okay, so after marking this, don't forget that we'll be adding some ½ inch or some sewing allowance to it. So I went ahead to not cut on the exact point. I left some allowance in front for the sewing. Okay, so now that we are done with this, I'll just go ahead and then open this up and then take in the sides. Okay, we are going to be ironing this in by 1/4 inch. Okay, we'll be ironing this in by 1/4 inch. So guys, remember that this is the part that we've not infused any stiff. Okay, that place will be ironing in by a 1/4 inch. Yes, all through. And then the stiff parts will be ironing in by 1/2 inch. Okay, so 0.5 or 1/2 inches. Okay, so let me just go ahead and place my tape measure, and this also. So we have so guys, I'm done with ironing. As you can see, this went in by a 1/2 inch and that by a 1/4 inch. Okay, so I will let you know why I went ahead to iron one side that is infused by the stiff by a 1/2 inch and the side with no stiff by a 1/4 inch. Okay, because I want a sewing allowance for the stiff infused part. Okay, because we are going to be sewing and hiding the stitch. So once we'll be sewing and hiding the stitch, you don't want a situation where you will not get any allowance to hide the stitch. Okay, so right now, as we all know the midpoint, because I folded this into two, I'll go ahead and then open it up, the right side of the stiff infused part facing the right side of the shorts. Okay, right side. We are just going to go ahead and pin. We'll pin this all through. The stuff is very hard, so it might be balancing some way somehow, but hey, you're gonna get it. Yeah, so as you can see, the middle of the belt to the middle back of the waist, and then we'll go ahead and pin it like that, and then we'll continue pinning till we are done. Okay, we are done right now. We are going to be sewing this on a 1/2 inch. Like, we're just going to go ahead and sew it in the ironed line or the margin this iron created. Okay, so we'll just go ahead and sew it inside because it's a 1/2 inch. Make sure you always back stitch to secure your stitch. And align things properly before you go ahead and sew. Okay, so I'll remove my pin and then I'll go ahead and stitch. So we are almost done with sewing. Now guys, please pay attention to the next step because it's very important. Okay, so we are going to go ahead and flip this right side facing each other. This is wrong side facing each other. Yes, right side facing each other. As you can see, we have our allowance that we are going to be sewing on later. We'll flip it over like this. This is right side, wrong sides, because inside the wrong sides are facing each other, but when you flip it over like this, it's the right sides facing each other. Okay, so go ahead and pick my pin, and then I would pin this out. So I'm just going to sew right from the a point where the fly is starting, okay, right on that point, and I'm going to run a straight stitch. Don't forget to back stitch as usual. So guys, the next one, okay, like so, right sides facing each other. Okay, so this is the wrong sides facing each other. Okay, so I'll flip it over to the right sides facing each other, just like we did for the other one. I'm just going to go ahead and fold it like so that I can have my allowance underneath. Okay, so as you can see, yes, it's overlapping the step infused parts. Okay, so just go ahead and pin like I did for the other one. And then I'm going to go ahead and run a stitch. Okay, like so. And always remember that you should run a stitch which is close to the fly. Okay, just close, like you can even run a stitch right on the fly, like, yeah. So the next step is to go ahead and cut off our excess before turning this in. So I'll do the same thing to the side and cut off the corner. Now we're going to be turning this in, and then also pay attention to the next step because it's very important. So if you feel that your edges are not pointy enough, you go ahead and use a sharp object like I have done. So now time to finish off our belt. Yes, remember we ironed the step infused parts in by ½ inch, and then the side with no stave in by a quarter inch. So right now we'll just go ahead and pin that quarter inch outside like so. Okay, yes, so you make sure you align it well, and then cover all the rough finishes inside. Push the belt, the sewing allowance inside, and then you pin right outside. Okay, as you can see, yes. So make sure you pull to straighten everything out before you go ahead and then pin. Okay, yes. So right now you just go ahead and push in all our sewing inside, our rough sewing and our rough seam allowance inside, and then you go ahead and put the non-stiff part on it like that, and I will pin it from outside. Okay, so as you can see, yes, I'm pinning right on the outside there. I have an excess material to pin on, so you push this inside like that, you pull to make sure it's straight. You can go ahead and iron all of this inside and then push like I'm doing. Okay, so in a normal occasion where you take in both sides equally, you have to sandwich, okay, and then sew. When you sew on the belt, you are going to reveal the stitches right on top. Okay, so people are going to see the stitches you've made, but on the occasion where you pick in a 1/4 inch on the side, there is no stiff, and a 1/2 inch on the side there is stiff, you end up sewing and hiding your stitches, okay, because there is an allowance inside where you can sew on. Okay, so you can go ahead and sew your stitches right in this, okay, in this stitch line that we've already taken. So what we are going to do right now is we are going to pull and stitch right in between the stitch line. Okay, so you pull, you open it up, and then you stitch it right through, and make sure you sew carefully so that you don't run your stitch on your belt. So you keep pulling till you are done sewing. Okay, this will help the stitches that you are making hide inside that seam line on the outside. Okay, so that is the reason I am pulling and stitching. Also make sure that you stitch slowly, because if you don't, you might run your stitches on your belt, and you don't want to leave your belt, your stitches exposed on the belt. Okay, you want to hide everything to create a neat finishing. Okay, so guys, we are almost done with it. Make sure that when you finish, you go ahead and then do your back stitching, and then voila, we are done. Like, it's just as simple as this, guys. So simple. As you can see on the inside, the thread is a bit contrasting, so you can really see, but on the outside there is no thread at all. They are all basically hiding inside. There is no stitch at all. They are hiding inside that seam line. Okay, yes. So guys, thank you for watching. Make sure that you cut off any excess threads that might pop up in the way. So make sure that, yes, you cut all, and then yeah guys, we are done. So this is how our zip flap and belt looks like. It came out perfectly, though I don't know what happened. Maybe my camera switched or something, but it looks so perfect. So the next thing will be to fix our hook and eye, which I will be showing you in a different video. Okay, so thanks for watching.